continues to be a learning process. But there are some cultural issues that have emerged around the type of food, for example, that rather not be raised. And they're trying to resolve it. This is not indifference, a lack of concern on anyone's part.
Right.
It clearly is learning to work together and understanding these and trying to resolve the issue. So please, one of the things that we have to do in terms of discipline is people have to associate themselves with the appropriate human needs committee. You mentioned that we are reorganizing as John director around 3 committees. Those will be housing placement, not to be construed with housing acquisition, housing rehab, or anything else. That will be housing person on an emergency basis and a long-term basis working with EM and any other resources that we can bring to bear, including the Salvation Army. That's one subcommittee we will evolve into next week. The second committee is human services, other social services. That will be a separate committee to focus on such things as transportation, food, and a host of other case management and referral issues that have to be dealt with. Part of those 5,000 missing people are now people that are coming out of the woods, so to speak, and now saying, I need help. Many of them are legitimate tornado victim renters for the most part. So we're trying to deal with those people. We have to be organized. And the other committee will be medical and mental health issues. That will be a separate committee. So by organizing around those 3 committees, we can then focus on having and coordination between all 3. We believe we can evolve to meet the needs. Now the primary purpose of our committee is to give you a report on our last meeting and to focus on the structure of the submission that is going to be about 4:30, given the IT issues and the computer issues. But we will focus on those 2 as part of our report. We want to deal with these about
and as you all know, the 7 families that are in North right now, there's a lot of distress going on. 2 of them showed up at Oak Park right before I left to come here. And we are doing immediate service and immediate housing services, but we don't have long-term services. So that's one of the things that was brought to the community. We are offering them a week of temporary assistance and help to find solutions as a group and as our other options for them. So many of the other families are going through the same thing, and there's families outside of those houses an ongoing issue that is related to the tornado, but it's not related to the tornado. And so that was one of the charges of this group, was to come up with an immediate response. So I'm saying that to say that Blueberry will work with at least address the immediate need, and then the group is still working on the transitional piece from Red Cross and Salvation Army after that.
Handoff has been something like this. Red Cross tried to hand it off. Pillsbury tried to hand some of it back. That's the way it goes. But we understood this was not going to go without some distress, stress, and confusion. But it is working if people are being served. That's just the reality of it. Let me clarify why I'm standing up here. I have been, first of all, I've worked with Shonda for several months on 2 years. I work with her. She asked me to assume this role of meeting every day and to make report. So I've been a part of the Human Needs Committee from the beginning, and I've been there since the first week. So that's why I'm making the report. Let me go now to overview of the submission that's going to the foundation at about 4:30 today. We broke our needs down into 3 areas. Well, first of all, let me frame it by saying the idea was to create an infrastructure to deal with the 36 miles of interface with the county and other social service organizations to meet the needs over the long term. But to do that, we needed to create the necessary infrastructure to guide that effort. And so much of the initial response to the request for proposal built around developing the appropriate infrastructure so that we can continue to function as a body to meet those needs. And that infrastructure, if the proposal is going in for 6 months, I believe that's not but for 6 months, we feel it's going to take that long to meet the emergency needs, develop the appropriate infrastructure minimizing redundancy. And that's been the effort, is to develop this RFP by minimizing redundancy. We don't want to do anything that someone else can do. While in our committee, we talked about the need for training, and we decided that we would not put training into this initial request for infrastructure for a very legitimate reason. The reasons were we're not likely to fund anything that's redundancy. One, as part of the guidelines. The Red Cross is offered to provide training at no cost. That's number one. Areas such as the other area of training was mental health consulting, and we believe we can get that through other resources without asking Minneapolis Foundation to fund that. So we developed a proposal around critical needs to build the infrastructure. The first of those is to hire 6 navigators. We understand there are 2 organizations in the community management, you and the hub, that we will ask and try to contract with to supervise those navigators as part of your ongoing effort with the county. In other words, add capacity to meet the growing needs. So we built those on 1099 basis, no benefits. We're trying to minimize costs, 6 months for these navigators. That's approximately using a reasonable wage of about $15,000 for a 6-month period of time. If in fact we can get it done in 3 months, we will get it done in 3 months. So we'll be on an as-need basis. The other issue was administrative support for the, someone used the term, and I hope this is not used disrespectfully. It's like herding cats when you get that many people in the room. So we really need an interface between those organizations needed. Emergency requires some administrative support. So it requires administrative support for the needs committee and administrative support for this body. So, with all due respect to our esteemed facilitator, we decided that 2 was too many, which you suggested. 1.5 was not too many. So rather than 1, we compromised at 1.5. And if we don't need them after 3 months, we will get rid of the additional administration. So that's going into the proposal. And the salaries are consistent with market rate. Again, no benefits on a 1099. And we were told a little bit about that since health insurance is a real issue, but we also felt on an infrastructure basis, in particular, we couldn't justify asking anyone to fund benefit. Beyond that, we built in for a total communications effort, both for this body, human needs, housing, and everything else, about $18,000 for 6 months. The responsibility was to develop, number 1, an outreach campaign. Design it and execute it, number 1. Outreach is critical. Number 2, put together, and that's for all of the communities. give you the whole. Develop an internal communications mechanism that is effective and instant. That's the second part of the communication responsibilities. And the third part is to build a media campaign to service everybody's needs. So number one, clients know where to get service, or potential clients, and the community knows what we're doing, and communicate with our external resources, be that government, philanthropic community, United Way, whomever, that those people will be effectively communicated. That's what the communication budget is. It's built at $18,000 for a 6-month period of time. If we can get it done before then, we will again cease and desist in that effort. The other place, Red Cross agreed to end all its database situation, and I forget what it's called. That's the name of it. And no charge. And no charge. We decided that Sanctuary, CDC, which has been with us in the beginning, has a significant IT capacity, would be the best organization to manage that effort. And so they will work with, if assuming it's funded, they will work with the Red Cross to make that transition, develop the protocols for everyone to feed into, manage the database, and provide the reporting, the necessary reporting to all of the bodies that need to be reported. So that is a $22,000 effort over 6 months, and I've been assured by Reverend Coleman that if there is no need to extend it, certain aspects of it beyond a period of time, they will be used that. And they're doing it at a minimum of covering their overhead, which in today's market is about 20%, and that seems to be very reasonable and consistent with what goes on. That is the extent of the proposal. I think if you add that up, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $170,000. However, given the emergency situation of the housing that has evolved over the last 2 days, the indication that the Red Cross wants to make some kind of transition, she's building into this budget an emergency request to build that. It will be somewhere between $170,000 and $250,000. The additional amount is to cover emergency housing needs and the support services to go with that. For the shelter, transportation, feed, whatever it is, feeding, and the handout to event or more permanent housing. That is the basis of the proposal that's going in today at 4:30, and those segments are covered. And it was done with a lot of input from our committee, some minor changes at the end based on the reality that we faced and additional information that was provided, such as the willingness to provide a free trade for people that need it. I saw a hand over here first.
I got a couple of comments on the Committee on Human Needs, Shonda Baker, who I haven't heard none about employment. Is that in another area? We're going to deal with that. I hope we deal with that.
It's on the agenda for later.
Okay, okay. And as far as having an administrator and a half, I think we can save on that half because the Urban League emerged is supposed to be on the Human Needs Committee with Shonda. So I think they would, we could stay focused on what we said. You can move it on, and if you want to apply like that, you can do it. But I would be saying, I talked to Mike Wynn of Emerge, who's been dealing with some issues because maybe a government shutdown, that he wants to be at the meeting, and he's on that committee. And I would suggest for savings to use those people like Scott Graves of the Urban League, Mike Wynn of Emerge, who's the basic needs, the human needs part of, dealing with bus cars, I guess that's transportation and stuff. So we should, it depends on how y'all got this going, but if we don't use it, like you said, if we don't use it, we don't have to use it. So I'm gonna leave that. The communication part is the communication in this RFP. It is in this RFP. Is that the data?
It's separate and distinct from the data. I think I stated that we built in $18,000 to design. I gave the details. Design and implement the outreach campaign. Develop the internal and external communication. Design and implement as well as developing a media campaign and implement. Over a 6-month period of time, it's been estimated at roughly, I think, 30 hours a month was the figure we had at $100 an hour. And as soon as the designs were done, the campaign was designed, the program was designed, then those hours would be reduced. So we plug in $18,000 for the new.
I just want to follow that up. I don't want us to be wasting anything. We got communication that we can put those dollars directly to. We don't need to be sitting around designing what's already there. We got organizations, whether in all communities, that we don't need to be spending money talking about we can design our communication. We got organizations, we had Insight, we had the smoke.
All right, you guys are kind of getting into my agenda. All right, so at this point, here's where we are. The deadline is at 4:30. All right, that rocket is either downrange or it's not. Right. Everything else.
I just think I want to make sure that we get understood something. First of all, in terms of administrative support, I think it deserves an answer. It was clear that our organizations around here, he's right, he's there but not there, but we've already stated, if someone is able to provide those kinds of services, it will not be used. But we had to make the ask and nobody was stepping up to play. Most of our nonprofits are faced with the prospect of a state shutdown, which means they will not be there. So we really have to plug it in on an emergency basis.
All right. I'm going to have this to the point that I got to work. Yes.
I just got two really short things. The amount of money, the pocket, if I heard you right, is about $130,000 for 6 months.
We did this some of the multiple.
Okay, some of the multiples. Okay, some things are missing. Yeah, that's what I understand. So I think first of all, we should stay within the area of our expertise. And we know design and campaign for outreach to include buying media, TV commercials, radio, television, print, internet, etc. We could use up $18,000 in 2 weeks without John's book. So
let me just respond to you. This estimate was not my estimate. We talked to two media experts who gave us the rate of $10 an hour, $30, but no more than 30 hours a month initially. That would be later reduced. It is simply an estimate.
And who were the two experts?
Okay, here we go. Y'all can talk to me.
The committee was there. We all did that.
I do feel like the ERC is simply super conservative. I don't feel like it will meet the needs in any real capacity. So I think that, I don't know, we're here now, we have an hour, and we need to figure it out.
Well, here's where I come down on this one. And first of all, we still have to build and people in committees. You know, I've been involved in situations where things similar to this have happened. We got two simple questions. Right? Did it hit at 4:30? And when can we see a summary submission with a budget? Right? And our next time we meet is Monday. And the expectation is that it will be presented to the body. Right? In fact, get it out electronically within the next 24, 48 hours. Right? So that is a matter of serious business. All right? Well, I hear you. I'll just say this came as a surprise that we had all day. And so we should manage expectations on things like this. But we'll deal with that offline. Any questions?
My question, I think, is more to Bill. When he talks about the 18,000, I guess the question I would have is, was that just for implementation? That wasn't for actually placement. correct?
Here's where this deal is, and I said this one, they've got to articulate their needs, all right? There's a bigger picture, and that's not in their language, all right? Let me be real clear about that. I think I said it several weeks ago, I'm retaining control over communications at the end of the day, all right? And so, Mr. McFarland had to leave, but he's been running a big double spread, 2-page full deal, and not getting paid since this thing began, all right? So, like, that has been huge. There are others that are contributing or have contributed. We're going to have to figure this thing out from a ground game all the way to an air game. It's not just about print media. It is about the churches. It is about informal networks, the way that people communicate. And I've said it to several people, I don't have a solution for this. And one of the reasons I don't have a solution is that I primarily have delivery people at the table, all right, who push stuff. I don't, and there sets up a conflict. And so I got to figure out and bring it to the core committee how we shape this. It's got to be done in conjunction with community-based operations, the city, etc. Because you're right, $18,000 is not a lot. So we still don't have a solution for that. All right, that's the bottom line. Willie in the back, and then we're shutting it down. I got to get you to a couple more things and get you out of here.
I just want to talk about some clarifications, because I've heard you say several times, this is the first round of proposals that we're going to do. Everything's not going to be in this.
That's right.
All right?
Right.
This is just to get going. And I think that's what the Human Service Needs Committee was trying to do, to get this off the ground. So whatever's in that proposal, it's not the last. It's the first, just to get things moving. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, the language is, we've been talking back and forth at night for a while, because they've been working to get it done. It's supplemental requests, that the priorities are first, what do you want to go in with first, then second, and then third, and phase it in. And I appreciate the explanation we got there, but it is not a complete explanation. We still have some work to do, all right? All the way in the back.
Eric from Connections Enterprises. Two things, I guess two really quick points. I remember before she mentioned, young lady, I don't recall your name, the fundraising bit and where the funds are going. Do you guys have a committee set up to, one, either proceed with doing fundraisers, and then two, to track where the funds are going? That'd be the first question. And then the second one, as far as media concerns and connections, is what all type of media are you looking for? The reason why I bring this question up is I do have certain connects with radio and television, and how soon, and I guess what are you guys looking for on that aspect over the next 6 months?
First question, no. Second question, no. Third question, that's just what I talked about, all right?
Okay.
And then we don't have a solution, okay? The number one job, I got to get this in everybody's mind, is that we got to find the people, okay? I laid out real clearly what the institutional assets were and what they need to do.
Okay.
What we're going to have to grapple with, and this is about more than media buys, is how do we get the information from the other folks. So I didn't hear a phone back, all right? I mean, I thought that had been part of what we talked about earlier. Maybe they got to get that down for free.
It's in there.
Okay, it's in there. All right, great. I mean, once you put a number out there, it goes live and people can get to it. We got to have an integrated strategy from the pulpit to those telephones to the media to booths at Juneteenth. I mean, I don't know. So that's still what's in front of us, and we got to get a group together that tackles that issue, okay? And I'm going to ask the churches to be a part of it, Reverend Coleman, bringing them into the fray, and our human services people. We got to have this discussion probably early next week so that we can begin to try to organize and deploy the message. Yes, sir.
Who would I have to plug into to start that initiative? Like, who would be best to talk to, I guess, within the committee? I'm new, and I don't know who would be best to talk to about maybe getting some of this stuff.
I need until Monday to get a leader.
Okay.
I don't have a leader right now. I do not have a leader. And I need until Monday to figure that out. And it's going to be, again, a combination of community-based churches, our systems, and we gotta be real clear about how we do it, in addition to having the meeting.
No, sir, so you have to.
Maybe I stepped out. So what about the website? Seems to me we need a website so people know what's going on. And it doesn't have to be sophisticated, but where people can get, and we can then show people what we're doing almost on a weekly basis.
It's implied that the administrator that we're bringing on board will be responsible for those types of duties as well. Sorry that they did not state it explicitly. Yes.
Actually, that's something that we were working on to present on Monday.
Okay.
Communication team is an entire communication plan for within the group and how we communicate externally. That's something that we're in the works. Actually, it's pretty much done, but we were asked to do it Monday. So, all that's needed.
Yeah, I'd just like to interject, there was a communication, an effective, strategy-driven communications plan submitted to this, or to Mr. English and the Human Needs for part of this proposal that included a large group of people at a level that they could afford. So if someone's credit rate is $1,000, well, $800 would be okay. And so what I'm saying is there was a proposal done, it wasn't done by me, but it was done and it was submitted. But yeah, we get, wait a minute, let me just finish here real quick. I'm not going to get out of the weeds. This is professional. I'm staying within my area of expertise, okay? Okay, so what I'm saying is, if that thing is submitted to the Minneapolis Foundation, to the state or who, and they're getting it at the Human Needs, it should be a part of this original, it should actually be a part of this original proposal, and someone steps in and undercuts that whole proposal down to $18,000 at $100, you can't live on $100,000 an hour. Okay, that's ridiculous. Okay, it was already set up, it was sent in, and it was totally ignored. And so this is the confusion. You kind of get on me, and I respect you, Mr. King. I respect you. You kind of get on me about writing crazy things on my blog and things like that. A lot of people don't agree with this. But this is one of the things right here. Besides earlier, we don't have one black agency. No offense to you, you do great work. I love it, okay? But we don't have a black agency in North Minneapolis to take care of our own. Regardless of the $90 million that went through North Minneapolis last year to solve poverty, homelessness. It's okay, just one more thing and I'm done. So in this case here, we jump off where we need a major advertising, marketing, public relation campaign. Some of these people, all they got is a cell phone. This $18,000 proposal comes in, and now that proposal is nothing. One thing that a lot of these people have that are homeless is a cell phone. Okay? I got a program, you get all them cell phone numbers and put them in and send them a message every day and updates. Okay? That is not in the $18,000 proposal because again in our community we get undercut by someone who got $200,000 to close the digital divide and didn't do a damn thing with it. So you need to fix that and I'll stay out of the weeds.
No. Hold on. Are you done?
I'm done, sir. I'm seated.
All right, let's deal with this. Hang on a minute. On Monday,
Stay in your area of expertise, Al.
hey guys, I'm not going to do this with you, all right? Hey guys, Al, I'm not going to do this with you. Slow down. Let me finish, all right? Because I need to move this discussion. We heard you. They have until Monday to come in with a communications package, recommendation. This is not the last time we'll deal with this. I thought I alluded to it. I don't like surprises. Okay, we have some surprises. We're going to deal with it. But let me tell you how we're going to deal with them, all right? I left the third grade a long time ago, so I don't react emotionally to things. The facts are the facts. I've said I don't have a leader in that area. I don't have a solution in that area. But we're going to fix it. It is one of my top priorities at this point. That discussion is not closed. We have got the submission report.
Mr. King, you have a question back
Hang
here.
on 1 minute. The subcommittees, as Bill alluded to earlier, the mental health piece, I've asked Dr. Hayden and the folks from African American Family Services, and I'm going to talk to Stella Whitney West, to form a cohort around the leadership of that piece, because there's been pressure coming from certain points to contract out to contract out and build that type of stuff, but we have contracts with the county already or third-party billing, and we just need to understand what the strategy is going to be. Secondly,
I just want to add something.
let me get through the Secondly, as I said earlier, I really appreciate Sue. And you know, we fight with whoever shows up, all right? So we got to build some support around Sue, be our leadership around the emergency housing piece. Very knowledgeable, got resources, and is connected, and we're going to move forward on that one.
Can we say rehousing instead of emergency housing?
You name it, what you want to name it, you're in charge, madam. All right? Okay. Finally, on the human services piece and the needs, you heard the report. I think they're going to have to dig down a little bit deeper and break that one up again. And, you know, probably get some specialty areas there because it runs the gamut. The next priority, you know, nothing beats the job. I know we can save everybody, but nothing beats the job. And that's even for summer employment for kids. So I'm going to ask the Urban League and Emerge, starting next week, to begin to figure out what can we do to support a wider expansion of the street work type efforts, so we go beyond. I think they got maybe 10 or maybe 30 kids, 150, 200 children, kids get summer jobs. All right, and I think that's a right thing. And we had discussions early on. Al kind of brought it up a minute ago. We got to bring that back up and say that no matter what happens, this is a priority for this community to make sure that our children have summer jobs. So that's going to come to the forefront as well. The other thing that we're going to begin to have, we're going to have the first meeting early next week. Aside from some moments, I think we're at a point where we can bring in the folks who can help us with the long-term disaster recovery formal plan. All right? Formal plan. I just been trying to get us to the point where we can talk to each other in a systematic way and organize. I don't pretend to be the disaster guy. And believe it or not, this is not the first disaster in the United States of America. So, United Way and Lutheran Social Services came to us several weeks ago. We weren't quite ready then. I feel, and observing the professionalism and the way that people tackle the task, and now it'll be a great time for them to come in and give us guidance so we can truly